Hi guys, welcome to Meritstore. In today's video, we will be talking about the formulas from the chapter Co-ordinate Geometry and a few specific ones like section formula, midpoint formula, centroid formula. So today we'll discuss only the formulas, and in the upcoming video, we'll be doing the sums based upon these questions. So go get some papers, grab a pen and start making notes, and let's check the formula.
Hi there. So we'll be looking at section and midpoint formula chapter. And first, let's look at all the important formulae, important concepts that you need to understand the chapter better. The very first formula that you'll need is the distance formula. Distance formula, here you'll need to calculate distance between 2 points or length of a line given. So let's consider A, whose point is x1, y1. And B, whose point is x2, y2. As per distance formula, distance between the point A and B can be given as x2 minus x1, the whole square, plus y2 minus y1, the whole square. And this is going to be inside the root. The second formula that we have is the section formula. Here, let's say we have a line AB and it's divided by a point P here. Now P is not a midpoint of AB. It's any random point on line AB. And this P is dividing my line into two sections. This is the first section and this is the second section. So the ratio in which it's dividing, I'm going to take that as M, and this I'm going to take it as N. And I'm going to symbolize the coordinates of P as X and Y. So AP ratio PB is going to be M ratio N. And I can find the coordinates of P by using the formula. For X, I'll be using the formula mx2 plus nx1 upon m plus n. And for Y, we'll be using the formula my2 plus ny1 upon m plus n. You see the x2 is first and then is x1. y2 is first and then it's y1. So we have to use the formula in that order only. Now most of the time we have questions which says that a line is trisected, which means it's divided into three sections. So I have a line AB which is divided into three sections like this. Let's take this line as points as M and this one as N. Now because it's trisected, I get three equal parts. I need to find the coordinates of M and I need to find the coordinates of N separately. So we can say that AM, this one, and ratio MB. So here it's 1 and this is covering two parts. So the ratio would be 1:2. So the ratio M is to N for point M will be 1:2. Again, you're going to use the same formula for X and Y and find the coordinates of M. Now, when I look at the N point here, N. Now, N here, AN is getting two parts and NB is getting just one part. So, AN is to NB. So, this is two parts and this is one part. So, the ratio M is to N becomes 2:1 for point N. So only the ratio M is to N will change in such type of question. The formula remains the same. The x1, y1, that's point A. x1, y1 remains the same, and the x1, y1 remains the same, and the x2, y2 also remains the same. Another type of questions that we get in section formula is that the line is intersecting x-axis or y-axis, any one of the two. So let's consider an example here. What happens to the formula? This is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. If a line is intersecting the x-axis, so the line would be something like this. This is the point where it's touching the x-axis. Here, let's take this as P. Here, you don't have any y coordinate because it's not touching y. So here the coordinate of P will be x, 0. Some value for x, but y will be 0. So when any line is touching the x-axis, the y coordinate is 0. Similarly, if I have a line which is crossing the y-axis, intersecting the y-axis, you see this is the point where it intersects. Let's take that as Q. It's not touching the x-axis anywhere. So the coordinates for this will be 0, y. So when a line is touching the y-axis, the x becomes 0. In coordinate system, we always write the x point first and then the y point. So 0, y for the Q point and x, 0 for the y point. The third formula that we have is the midpoint formula. Here we have a line AB and we have a point M which is a midpoint. That means AM and MB are divided into two equal ratios. So here their M into N ratio will be 1:1. That's why we won't apply the section formula. We have a formula altogether, a different one, a new one. So X can be calculated as, this is X and Y, this is X2, Y2, this is X1, Y1. So X can be calculated as X1 plus X2 upon 2 and Y can be calculated as Y1 plus Y2 upon 2. That's it. That's the formula for midpoint. Next, we have to do the centroid. Now, centroid is applicable only for triangles. The last formula, the fourth formula here is centroid, and that's applicable only for triangles. So let's consider we have a triangle here like this. That's A, B, and C. A coordinate is x1, y1, B coordinate is x2, y2, C coordinate is x3 and y3. Let's draw medians. From A, I have a median here, it's touching at point R. From B, I have a median coming here like this, it's touching at point P. And from C, let's say I have a median like this and it's touching at point Q. Now, what's a median? A median is a line drawn from the vertex to the opposite side. And the special thing about the median is it divides the opposite side into equal parts. It bisects the opposite side. So here, R becomes the midpoint of BC. R is the midpoint of BC. P is the midpoint of AC. And Q is the midpoint of AB. The point at which all three of them are meeting, this point that you see here where all three of them are meeting, that is called as the centroid. That point is denoted by the letters G and that's called as the centroid. So this centroid, let's take the coordinate as X and Y. How to find the values of the centroid? Simple. X is equal to X1 plus X2 plus X3 upon 3. X1, X2 and X3. To find Y, it will be Y1 plus Y2 plus Y3 divided by 3. This centroid that you see, I'm just going to draw that separately here. This is A, this is D, and this is the centroid G. This centroid that you see, this point is dividing the line AD in the ratio 2:1. So AG is to GD, the ratio is 2:1. Always, this is applicable for all medians. So the centroid formula is this, and the points R, P, and Q become the midpoint of the respective sides that it's bisecting.